Howdy, folks. Thanks for stopping by. Glad you're here. AI, everyone's talking about it. Let's talk about it because everyone's talking about it. No, we're going to talk about it because it's getting real out there. I saw a demo of Suno a week or so ago, and I was very impressed at the quality. If you think about AI, it has really come a long way in just the past couple of years. So, the rise of AI generated music, is it a threat to composers? What's the controversy? Right now, music businesses, music libraries, music supervisors are saying we're not going to accept any AI generated music. Now there's legitimate concerns about copyright, lack of transparency, lack of compensation for the training content used. There's a lot to talk about in that stuff. Now keep in mind, ChatGPT 3.5 came out in November of 2022. GPT-4 came out back in March of 23, I think it was. Google had Music LM that came out in May of last year, 2023. So these technologies are new. I mean, GPT 3.5 really kind of woke folks up. The jump to GPT 4 was significant if you're interested in having conversations with a Gen AI tool. The detail, the flow, the humanness of it is scary good. And GPT-5, I don't think will come out this year. I was just listening to a Sam Altman interview with Lex Friedman, and it's amazing what I think GPT-5 and other products of theirs are going to do. It's just going to get more and more powerful. So as music composers for television and film, is AI a threat? Absolutely. Let's just cut to the chase and cut the BS. It's absolutely a threat. And there's a lot of emotions involved, a lot of virtue signaling, a lot of people that don't know what they're talking about making firm declarative statements. That's never a good thing. Emotion is the enemy of critical thinking, and I think we need to slow up, pull back a bit. Earlier this year, if not late last year, I made a video about music libraries dumping their catalogs into AI and you getting some pennies for a one-time fee to let your music be used. And I was very much against that, which and I still am for the most part, but I'm no longer concerned about it. Honestly, I just don't care anymore because how musicians learn is no different than how AI learns. The anger, the angst, the worry, the panic, the knee-jerking, the virtue signaling is has nothing to do with the legal aspects of it. It's all about feelings, and that never really goes well. So, how do musicians learn? Let's say you're a guitar player, or you want to be a guitar player. You start as a teenager, you get your acoustic guitar, you start learning G and D and C and E minor and bar chords, and you start playing stuff. You listen to the blues, you listen to Chuck Berry, you listen to the various rockers of the 60s, you start developing some technique, you start buying amps, you get an electric guitar, you start buying stomp boxes. Well, these days you don't have to because of the amazing software that's out there. You start listening to, classic rock, you start listening to punk rock, then you start getting into, hey, oh my God, Eddie Van Halen, what's this thing here? And then you've got Steve Vai, Joe Satriani, and all these amazing folks that just took it to the next level. And you start working on your technique and your tapping and your string adjustments to make it nice and soft so you can, light strings to be faster and all this other fun stuff. And you develop, your own sound, your own style. And if someone were to hear you, a few years later, you're playing with a band live and you're rocking out and you do some tapping, you do some whatever, someone would say, hey man, that sounded a lot like Eddie Van Halen, or man, that reminded me of Steve Vai. Let's take a different example. I'm a saxophone player. I've learned from the greats. I've studied from the old school Sidney Bechet and Johnny Hodges and Charlie Parker, Cannibal Adderley, Phil Woods, getting into Kenny Garrett later on, not Kenny G, but Kenny Garrett, Dave Sanborn, Hank Crawford, Michael Brecker, Lenny Pickett. The styles change, and if you hear me play live, depending on the song, I might sound heavily influenced by one of those names I just mentioned. That's how we learn. We adapt, we ingest, we learn the vocabulary, the tone, the timing, the phrasing of our musical forefathers. And then that comes out on our playing. And now, if I were to record a blues saxophone solo or a funk saxophone solo, or if you're a guitar player and you played some amazing shredding would you have to give Eddie Van Halen, or would I have to give David Sanborn credit or compensation for their influence on my musical style? Of course not. That's absolutely absurd to think about. We would never even consider that. It's the concept of learning from our forefathers, of repeating what we hear in our heads. And we're taking that and creating something new. Now, if you get involved in copyright related issues, then there's a problem. If I were to write a melody that sounds exactly or very close to a David Sanborn melody, or if a guitar player took a Dire Straits riff or an Eddie Van Halen riff and claimed it as their own, that's not, transformative use. That's not creativity. That's plagiarism, whether it's intentional or unintentional, because you can copyright melodies, you can copyright lyrics, I believe. You can't copyright chord progressions or tone or feel or timing or style or genre. But we would only have to give credit if we literally copied the melody of a previously existing work or the lyrics of a pre-existing song. AI is trained the exact same way as musicians are trained. It just happens at light speed. The crux of the issue is that people are frustrated or upset with how fast computers can do things. But at the end of the day, because something is created by AI doesn't mean it's bad. Something created by AI that sounds like something that existed prior, it sounded like a David Bowie groove or a Depeche Mode thing, or insert genre. Unless it's a blatant copyright of a melody or a lyric, it doesn't matter how it was created. There's zero difference between me creating something and a computer creating something. Again, as long as it's not a plagiarism idea. Now, this is a big can of worms. People are like, man, no, well, it's being influenced by all these catalogs of work, and I can't let my works be part of that. And I said that not long ago. Now I've had a change of heart. I don't care. In the big picture, it doesn't matter to me. It's not going to hurt me. It's not going to hurt you. It's not going to hurt Ariana Grande or insert famous singer, Taylor Swift. Unless something is blatantly copied, it doesn't matter. I don't know how else to say this. And it's not coming out the way I want to because I'm just freestyling. I actually tried to use GPT-4 to create a script so I could kind of make this point more eloquently. I just threw it all away. It just makes no sense. I've got a couple of bullet points that I want to touch on. So from a legal perspective, not emotional, from a legal perspective, it only matters if it's actually a copyright infringement. There's nothing in the law that makes any sense or reference to how something was created. Okay, so that's kind of the main crux of things. Fears of plagiarism, those are legitimate, but that's definitive. It's definable. There's notes and rhythms. You can say, yes, that melody is the same as that previously existing work, therefore I pay them or I give my rights up, whatever. So if you step back and think, okay, well, no, Paul, you're full of crap. We've got to compensate artists for their influence in the material that an AI tool generated. That's one of the things they got to drink for. The math doesn't work on that. It's kind of like Spotify. People complain or gripe about something when they just don't do the math. I'll link the Spotify video that I did about this. You can't pay more. Spotify can't pay more because they don't have enough money to do it. They never generated a profit. There's not enough money to make the math work. And that's a tiny tip of the iceberg of how bad the math is for AI generation. Think of the complexities associated with compensating artists for their work. Knowing that 60 to 80,000 new pieces of music are uploaded online every day. If that is used in an AI training model, how do you pay anybody for that? Let's just stick to the Billboard Top 100 over the past 50 or 70 years, however long that's been around. How do you pay those artists to make any business model work? We're talking micro pennies. I mean, much, much smaller than the payments we get today from streaming services. There's just no mathematical way to make it worth. Who gets what percentage? Hey, that trap beat sounds like Drake, but that came from an LL Cool J thing, which came from a Sugar Hill Gang thing, which came from a blues shuffle, which came, that James Brown got from Elvis, who got that from a black blues singer from 20 years before. I mean, how do you pay? Who do you pay? How much do they get? It's an irrational math conversation. The math just doesn't work. So while it's virtuous and exciting and emotional to talk about how we've got to have transparency and compensation for everyone's participation, for the love of God, please stop. It just doesn't work. Emotion's the enemy of critical thinking. And this video is probably going to trigger a lot of folks. And again, I don't care. I don't care. We have to be real about lots of things in the world. Put the emotions aside and talk about the math, the legal aspects of it, the precedent, the history, etc. I mean, legally, it's very clear as to what can and cannot be copyrighted. Melodies and lyrics can be copyrighted. Corporation style, genre, feel cannot. Now, we've got the concepts of transformative use. We've got fair use. But do we really? If you've ever tried to release content on YouTube about music or about art, about poetry, about architecture, about painting, Google YouTube has zero understanding of fair use. Rick Beato's got myriad videos about the topic. Fair use does no longer exist anymore. It's almost like common sense. It's dead. Transformative use is kind of something that might apply to AI generated music. What is transformative use? Sampling, reharmonizing, remixing, mashups, parody. You're transforming an existing thing and making it different while still being the same. But AI, I don't think, is doing transformative. It's just taking all these things that it's told are certain things and creating something that it thinks is new. So it's new content. And then we got music libraries and music producers and supervisors that's saying, we are not going to take any AI generated music. Well, number one, how do you know if it's generated by AI or not? Unless you're putting up a really crappy vocal improvisation or vocal sound that doesn't sound human, well, then you'll know. But you don't have no idea if lyrics were generated by AI. You have no idea if a musical bed, a drum beat, a pad, a sample that you created is generated by AI. You have no way of knowing. And then again, if I did as an artist say, hey, I'm going to upload this trap beat for TV, which is something I do quite a bit of, and let's say I want to do an Asian influenced trap beat for a show about, something related to Asia, and I say, hey, AI, give me a kabuki theater band ensemble kind of bed or beat, and it goes out and grabs the instruments and creates some kind of thing, and I think it sounds good enough. Do I need to find out who in Tokyo are the top call kabuki theater musicians and find out a way to pay them? Of course not. That's asinine. And it shouldn't matter. I mean, what's the difference between me creating a sample that way versus somebody using found sounds or taking old school recordings and transforming and chopping them up, or creating something in Falcon or Omnisphere or Nexus or whatever? There's no difference. That's the whole point I'm trying to make. And it's frustrating because people just get stuck in this virtue signaling emotional stuff like, oh, it was done by computers, therefore it's crap. I'm sorry, but that's just not how the world works today. So I'm not trying to dismiss the value of musicians. We're all still very, very important. And I'm not in any way saying that AI is going to replace live music. And anyone that says that is a moron, because that's not what anyone is saying. We'll always want to go see live musicians, our favorite artists, or up-and-coming bands, or our friends and family. No one is saying that AI will do that. There will always be the need for live music. Now, there will be folks that incorporate AI into their live performances because they're going to use AI as a tool, as another instrument. And I think as composers, we should do the same. We're not far from having a Contact plugin or an Omnisphere plugin that uses AI to generate stuff. There's probably some things that are already doing that. So let me show an example. The thing that kind of got this whole concept in my brain that I need to get out like a musical zit, pop it before it causes more damage. So let me pause for a second here and change my screen, and I'm going to pull up Suno because it's pretty powerful. Okay, I'm back. I've got Suno up on screen. I need some more bourbon. Oh, yeah. What is that proof on that? 132.8. That's a good proofy gal. All right. So, Suno.com. Free sign up. Go check it out. I created something last week. A prompt about a ballad about a pop ballad about music composers that refuse to acknowledge the importance and impact of AI technology on the future of the music industry and how AI can be used as a tool, not a threat. So I'm going to play this real quick, and then I'm going to generate something new so you can see how fast it happens. Where's my phone? Oh, my phone's being used. I'm going to have to do something else. Okay, so let's just play. So that's all I said. I didn't say who it sounds like. I just said a sad pop ballad. Let's give it a listen.
Lost in the notes, we're drifting away. Composers of folk, stubborn and gray.
Okay. Right now, if you're watching a soap opera or some kind of drama on TV, some reality show, you have no way of knowing if that's AI generated or not. It's got a realistic sounding piano. It's got a breathy, sad, tiny female voice. It's got lyrics, lost in the notes, we're drifting away, composers of old, stubborn and gray. I got no problem with that. Now, to all the lyricists out there, that's probably making you cringe. I'm not a lyricist, but if you might hear some, fake saxophone that you think, hey, that sounds great. And I would absolutely cringe, so I understand that. But this thing just created this stuff, relatively instantly. And a good lyricist will go and maybe tweak it. Let's try a different version here, different song.
Lost in the notes, we're drifting away. Composers of old, stubborn and gray.
No music supervisor, catalog owner, or editor is going to know that that's AI generated. It's in tune, it's breathy, it sounds realistic, it's emotional, it generates a mood, and at the end of the day, what is our job as sync music composers? To generate a mood, to create feeling. This AI tool, this horrible machine, this internet demon, let's keep playing.
Refusing to see what technology brings.
That could fall under any reality TV show or a commercial. Come on, admit it, get over yourself. This could totally be used in TV. To say that it can't is denial. We got plenty of that in the world. Stop with denial. So let's do something new. I'm using my phone as my camera, so I can't show my stopwatch, but let's create something. So I'm going to put, I actually created, I did this earlier, but I guess we'll do this here. Let's do a mumble rap. Let's just do a, Detroit style rap about how AI generated music will replace TV music composers. Let's create. I'm going to do this real time. I'm not going to stop it. I don't have anything else I can use as a stopwatch. I'll just count. Let's just do some counting. Ready and go. About 10 seconds. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 18, 19, 20. 22 seconds, we got the first one. 6, 7, 8, 9, 30. 31 seconds, roughly. Let's call it 30 seconds. I've got 2 new musical compositions. So let's click on this. We see this right here. On the right, you'll see the lyrics. Well, I have no idea what it's going to sound like. We're doing this real. Let's play.
Yo, listen up, I got something to say about this AI-generated music taking over the game. TV music composers.
TB, if you're listening, man, this makes me think of you, brother. Oh my goodness. Maybe someone owes you some money. Let's keep going.
They better watch their back, cause these machines are coming, ready to attack.
Okay, look. My honest human reaction. It's got a LL kind of vibe to it. It's powerful. It grooves. That's not bad at all. I can hear that in a video game. I can see it in a sports show. Is it kitschy lyrics? Come on, you want to analyze the lyrics of rap out of there. There's great lyricists out there. Eminem, I think, is the best. There's a lot of crap out there, too. Let's listen to the second one. Again, honest reaction. Have not heard this. You saw me create it just a minute ago.
Yo, listen up. I got something to say about this AI-generated music taking over the game. TV music composers, they better watch Sit back, these machines are coming, ready to attack. No more late nights in the studio, crafting those beats. AI got it covered, nothing hits on repeat. No need for human touch, a soul to mix. Just lines of code, creating the groove for the kicks.
Oh my goodness, horns.
Kicks. We know how to keep it real, but AI generated music got the mass appeal. No more need for features, collaboration's gone. Just press a button and the computer's got it done.
Yeah. 50 seconds of music. You need 30 for a commercial. 15 for, trailer. I mean, dude, that's legit to me. Be honest. Watch TV, watch video games, listen to the radio. That could be you. Let's do something different. Let's find some. Let's do a heavy metal banger. I'm trying to confuse it now. About fixing. I can't type. Fixing classic cars. There's a lot of great TV shows out there, about this. Let's just see what we got here. Create. And it's going to be a little bit, so you can see what I mean here. A year ago, this wasn't possible. We weren't hearing realistic sounding vocals. We were hearing crappy sounding drums. This is absolutely usable. Now, who do you pay? Would I pay LL Cool J? Would I pay my friend TB? Because I thought one of those raps sounded like his voice a little bit? Okay, we're done. I'm talking. I mean, that was less than 30 seconds. Let's see what this heavy metal banger sounds like.
Grease on my hands, gasoline in my blood, fixing up classics in my rusty garage. Offer inches and hammers, my tools of delight, screaming engines, rolling through the night.
It sounds like kitschy 12/8 rock. It doesn't sound computer generated to me. Let's keep going.
From a heap of metal to a piece with might, I restore these beauties, bring them back to life. Fuel in their veins, fire in their eyes, rusty wheels rolling.
Okay, we get it. Let's try that. Let's see what the other one was. Stoner doom metal. I didn't know that was a thing, but let's see what we got here.
Grease on my hands, gasoline in my blood, fixing up classics in my rusty garage. I've got wrenches and hammers, my tools of delight, screaming engines, roaring through the night.
I mean, some of the cadence of the lyric might be a little off, but let's keep going.
From a heap of metal to a piece of light, I restore these beauties, fuel in their veins and fire in their eyes, rusty wheels rolling under starlit sky.
Okay, we get it. Now, personally, I'm not fond of the guitars. It's kind of muffled, but what could you do with this as a TV music composer? You've just created something brand new. These lyrics are original. The groove is a groove. What could you do? You could recreate this yourself, playing real guitar and really singing, and use this as a creative stepping stone. So now, if you do that, if you recorded your own drums, your own guitars and bass, and your own vocals, is that AI generated? Maybe, I don't know legally. I would say no. You took something that and I mean, is using a synonyms dictionary AI? Is that not legal because you didn't know the synonym for a word, or a rhyming dictionary? You see where we're going with this? It's emotions getting in the way of rational thought. Let's try some instrumental stuff here. And I wasn't planning on doing this, but let's just try some instrumental stuff. Let's try some neo classical dramatic music for a medieval battle scene. I have no idea if that's going to work or not. Did I spell medieval right? I don't know. Let's see what we got here. Instrumental. Now, neoclassical could be confusing because a lot of folks, younger folks, neoclassical is a certain metal rock guitar style, but for music historians, it's more of an actual genre, in the classical music world. So let's see what we got here. Still going. Another time for another sip. That's good. So it says neoclassical orchestral dramatic, sword and shield. Well, even generating your cover art. Look at that. I didn't catch that the first time. What do we got? Totally fine piano. This is absolutely legit. Oh crap. Now this hits me hard because this is stuff that I do. Okay, let's see what we got here. I was looking for string. I didn't specify strings. Let's see what we got here. Whoa, Nelly. That's absolutely 1,000% legit. Okay, let me try changing the prompt here. Classical string quartet dramatic music. Generate. Create. I'm sorry. This, bro, this stuff didn't exist a year ago. And so now we get into who gets credit. Okay, who would I pay for that piano thing? Who would I pay for Rusty Wheels, the Stoner Doom pedal? I couldn't even tell you who's in that category. How would you compensate folks? How much would they get? Think about it. Don't just say we'll figure it out. No, it's a real thing you have to figure out. These strings of passion. Wow, that was quick. Okay, let's try it again. So the string sounds are not great. But this would absolutely work under all sorts of stuff. Next. And I notice there's a button here that pops up, extend, you can make it longer. I think Suno goes up to 2 minutes. Good Lord. Wow. It's only going to get better, folks. It's only going to get better. Let's try something different. Let's try dramedy. Let's see if he even knows what dramedy is. Dramedy, pizzicato, I forget how to spell pizzicato. Pizzicato, string, underscore. I was not, I guess I've used up on my credits. I have no idea. Well, I think I've made the point. Oh my goodness, I think I've made the point. Okay, let's go back to kind of what I was talking about earlier. So, okay, that, I wasn't expecting to go do that many examples, and I signed up for the free account with Suno, so I don't know, I have no idea how many credits I get, etc. But all of that was usable. You have to admit, all of that. We're not trying to create a brand new artist recording for CBS Records or for Sony or for whatever. We're trying to create moods on TV and film. So it's amazing. I'm kind of flabbergasted at the quality because I just messed with Suno for the first time last week. Then I had to go out of town on business. It's legit. So what are we trying to solve for here? Libraries and supervisors are saying we're not going to take AI created music. I bet they haven't heard that. I bet composers are thinking, man, if I can create that and chop it up, what's the difference between taking that string neoclassical stuff and chopping it up versus recording some old vinyl and chopping it up and submitting it to a library? There is no difference. Unless it's a stolen melody, it is absolutely fair use usable. And I don't mean fair use in the legal term because, like I said, Google killed fair use. Now, there's a little sidebar. I find it ironic that I think a lot of the folks complaining about this topic in their 30s and 40s, they were probably teenagers or college students when Napster was around and they were downloading all the free music they could. Happy to steal. I saw a video talking about this and someone said, everyone expects everything for free these days. And that's a sad, unfortunate truth. So it's this dichotomy. We want stuff for free, but we want to get paid for it. And that makes no sense. You can't have it both ways. So my main point, though, the thing that prompted me to create this video, and I've been freestyling on this whole thing. I just had to stop to make some screen changes. The whole point of this video is that there is no difference between how AI is trained and how we musicians are trained. AI just listens to stuff, it's told what it is, and then creates and iterates and gets better, and it will get better and better every 3 or 6 months or 12 months. I shudder to think what it's going to look like in a year. Maybe I'll make a note for myself. It's April in 2024. Let's go April 2025 and see what these tools sound like and what legally has happened. We know that lawsuits around music are incredibly frustrating. Katy Perry lost her suit against an unknown Christian rapper whose music was nothing like her music. Thank God she won the appeal. I think that Mark Ronson was wrongfully, sued and lost because music sounded like something else. He didn't steal melodies. You can't copyright chords. And when these things go to court, they go to juries. And in America, we have the constitutional right to a jury of our peers. That's not how it works, though. A jury of our peers would be a jury of musicians. That's not how it works. It was a jury of folks that had the time to go make their $8 a day to be fooled by lawyers that focus more on winning versus reality and the truth. And that's worthy of another topic. So, while AI and humans, we learn in fundamentally similar ways, the scale of how quickly AI can learn and copy and create, that's the thing that freaks people out. Because we can't learn as quickly as they can, then it belittles us. No, that's not the case at all. So what is our call to action? What do we do? We got to keep talking about this, but we've got to be willing to consider other opinions. I know it's a radical idea. If you want to know who controls you, figure out who you can't criticize or challenge. So I respect and understand music leaders saying we are not going to take in AI music. I think it's a very messy topic, and to take a firm stance like that without understanding the topic clearly, legally, historically, etc., you're setting yourself up for failure. But at the end of the day, as we all know, the music industry is very, very subjective. The best music doesn't always get placed. The right music gets placed. And maybe the right music doesn't get placed because the person that's placing it likes this person better than that person, or that's a whole separate issue. The subjective nature of the music industry is frustrating for everyone. See the Grammys, see the Academy Awards, see any music or creative related contest. It's a mess. Well, man, this went a lot longer than I thought it would. Hopefully it was entertaining, eye-opening. The end of the day, I don't have a problem with AI learning from our musical history to create new content, because that's what we as musicians do. If you disagree, let me know. I'm happy to do another follow-up video, but that's where I stand. AI is just a digital person learning a whole lot faster. Our goal is to learn how to use that as a tool to help us serve our clients in the music industry. Thanks for watching. Go create something great.